Hi everyone, it's Peter from PS Sound, and Eddie is on my left. You should hear him from the left.
Hello.
Because we are using beautiful microphones. And we would like to introduce this family car project to you. French speakers in a French car. How about that? Yeah? No, we will have a German speaker in it as well. So it's a 2019, what is it, Citroën something.
Citroën.
Big thing, family car. And came to us to put a decent system in it. It had something in it, and I'm going to show that to you, because that's pretty much the standard what shops do, not just in UK, not just in France, but at most of the places. Make it looking somewhat acceptable, and it sounds whatever it sounds like. Job was done, you know, get the bill paid, and then off you go. If you want more, come back and we do more to it. But I have a feeling that most people, most installers don't even know how to make it better. And you will see what's happening here. It's so lovely. So this car had a two-way Focal Utopia WRC, so the cheaper Utopia set, two-way installed at the front. You can see the mid bass is still in that door. We didn't take it out, so you can see that driver. Stunning. And look at that. So they made this piece that's somehow screwed onto the door panel, trimmed with vinyl. It was cut with jigsaw, so the hole wasn't even exact. And for example here, the mounting of the driver was a bit problematic for them. In order to fit the driver, they had to, oh, where did we see it, Eddie? Yeah, they had to extend the whole of the grill holder ring.
And the screw was going at an angle.
At an angle, yeah, so they could find some meat in it instead of cutting a hole with a router exact, and you wouldn't have this issue. But that's just that, you know, using wood screws, that's just fine. But this thing is mounted on the door card. There's a gap between the door card and the inner skin, so the driver was literally mounted on this flexing door card, where all the vibration is transmitted onto this plastic. And even if they applied some treatment on the door, and there's some Focal stuff on the outer skin, but yeah, you see they cut the factory door card where the grill was. Yeah, this is not the way. And then people are surprised why they don't have tight bass, why they don't have clean, accurate bass and decent low-end extension, when all the low end is just transmitted onto this door card, taken up by it, and a great amount of the bass is just lost. Yeah, make it look good, yeah. So in theory we have two amplifiers in this car. Even the owner couldn't tell where the other amplifier is for the sub that I'm going to show in a sec.
We're not sure if there's two amplifiers.
We don't know, but
there's two cables in the front of the battery, but we don't know.
Yeah, this is a Fortunate amplifier, and we can see all the speaker terminals used, but we don't know whether they ran the front passive, and then they also have speakers at the rear doors, but they have a sub as well. So in theory this car would need 6 plus, well, 7 channels to run it active. Probably they have the front passive, the rear doors same way, it's a coax, and the sub has to have an amplifier, unless they were running the rear speakers in the rear doors from the factory head unit. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
We will see. However, oh, that's my favorite. Look, this amplifier wasn't even mounted, it was just shoved in. They were lucky because it's exactly the same size as this cavity here. But oh, look at that copper. Oh, focus on it, darling. Yeah, look at that. It's exactly how it was sitting in there. You could have few bumps, cable coming out a bit. Well, it's actually it doesn't even fit into that terminal, and all the copper exposed, strands hanging. You could easily have a shortage. It's blimey, yeah, stunning. Cable shoved in. Yeah, wicked, isn't it? So on the other side, at least it's easy to move around this van. We have a lot of space in it. They fitted a Focal 10-inch, the flatline subwoofer here. The grill was just sitting around it. Eddie knew it straight away. It's a Rockford grill, actually.
Rockford's Fosgate, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
retrimmed.
quite solid, that thing.
Yeah. No, it's pretty rigid.
Yeah. It's being
They
cut.
stapled the carpet back there. Whether they had to cut the carpet, probably they had to fit a box that extends to the sides, goes a bit further, and somehow we have to shove it out. We take the speaker out, which actually doesn't work. It stopped working 2-3 months ago. That was one of the main reasons why
It was installed properly.
the owner really wanted to sort the system out, but he just had no confidence to go back to the place. But it has to have a sub amplifier because they put a remote controller there. Look, yeah.
Maybe they put it in the box, in the sub box.
Oh, inside.
And
Who
look
knows?
at this, because I just realized
What's that?
that's for very good staging. You have adjustable tweeters,
Yeah, you can move the position. Just move the tweeter. Huh?
and they hit the windscreen.
Well, they thought, it's a corner. It's not going to go anywhere. They made a bracket, and,
but
and they
this-
shoved it in between the.
The dash and
Hang on. Let me go to the front so we can see that. All right. So, does it come out? Let's focus on it. It has some sort of L bracket that goes in between. Look at that. Huh? Bit of carpet on it so it doesn't rattle that much. Shoved in. It could be here, it could be there, it could be anywhere. Yeah? Well, it's easy because someone just breaks the glass, pulls it out, off you go. An expensive tweeter is gone in the pocket of a thief. So, this is a beautiful installation that was probably around 3,000 euros. I think.
Yeah.
It is what it is. At least the owner has a file, which is an addition, and it runs through the factory system. Everything runs through the factory system. They have an aux in there, so you have to keep the factory integration on speaker level, what it's done at, and then we will fit some new equipment in it. Actually, I'm going to go to the other side and show that. So we will fit 3-way up front in a non-conventional way, but you won't be surprised by that because we like to do things slightly differently. And we will have a sub and a simple amp rack at the back. Amps in a small rack, sub box next to it, a sealed box. We have to take all this out, treat the panels. Something simple and practical because the owner needs all the space for the family. And then up front, let's have a look at the equipment. So we will have 4K Utopia. You can take it out. Come on, let's show some sexy goodies to people. So we will have the Utopia 3.5, the latest mid-range in custom A pillars. They are sexy looking things, that's for sure. They are good, we use them in few cars. I'm still not quite sure that it really deserves the price tag, but that's subjective. Because out of the freeway set, I think this is the weakest part. Especially the 8-inch mid bass and the tweeter, they are very, very nice. Mid is good, but I could match this quality cheaper from other brands. But that's just my personal opinion, but it's a great tweeter, great mid. So this is going to be used with the existing tweeter in the car, with the older Utopia, and the mid bass. Let's show the mid bass, because we used it a few months ago in a classic car where no modification was really allowed. And we didn't quite know much about this solution, but after we installed it and tuned it, we fell in love with this thing. Because this thing is just bloody awesome. So now we actually make an unboxing review of this Focal under seat bass driver. It's called the iSub Twin, so it comes as a pair. It's a passive box, and I think it's 2 ohm actually. It's a 2 ohm driver. As you can see, it's a really thin, elongated driver like we used to see in old TVs. Or even probably these days they fit similar speakers in TVs, but this is a specific design for this application, quite a long throw high X Max driver. I think the corner area is probably equal to a 5¼ inch driver in a 3-liter solid sealed box.
I think it's aluminium, isn't it?
Yeah, possibly. Terminal on the side, nice and simple, and it's dirt cheap. I think a pair of it is £250 here in UK. Probably it's like €300 in Europe. In America it would be probably like 350 or a little bit more a pair. And considering the effort that it takes to install it, because literally it comes with a pair of there you go,
The strips.
yeah, Velcro strips. You fit on it, put it under the seat on the carpet, and it's not really going to slide anywhere. That easy. So instantly you get rid of all the door vibrations and everything. There's just no rattle, and it plays beautiful clean bass. It's advertised as a bass driver, not as a mid bass. So the manufacturer recommends it between 50 and 150 hertz. But we used it and it's functional up to 200 hertz. And if you have a capable mid-range, and this mid-range is good enough to pair it with in fully active, then you can create a beautiful freeway system in a very, very easy way. Because you don't waste time, several days, to rectify something that they butchered up here, and then we would still have door vibrations no matter how much work we put into it. And also you get the inherent acoustical issues with door location in most cars, that you will have big nose and big dips that you can't do anything with. And people are like, oh, why do I have such a big dip at like 160 hertz? Like I got a message from someone this morning as well. What can I do? Do I need a bigger amplifier? No. Once you have an acoustical cancellation point in the frequency range in a car, it doesn't matter what amplifier you put on it. If it happens on a single watt, it's going to happen on 100 watts as well. And it's due to the location of the car and your seating position. So actually under seat locations within that range between 50 and 200 hertz, they tend to work slightly better. And this thing plays clean, and it takes you what, an hour to fit it?
Probably.
Pull the speaker wires there, take the seats out if you have to. In some cars you don't even have to take the seats out, shove it underneath. It's, I think, 73 mil or something, but you can check it online, easy to find on Focal's website. It fits under pretty much every single seat.
80 millimeters.
80, yeah. There you go. Yeah. 80. And people think, oh yeah, but it's small, it doesn't really have output. Actually, we were quite surprised with it, because this single thing has more output than any 6.5 can have in a door in terms of kick. How punchy it was, clean kick bass. And if someone wants a really loud setup, and if you have the space, have a pair of them each side. The price is also cheap, and it will knock your eyeballs out, literally.
Yeah, it's not like you should expect big bass from them, but
they did.
No, big bass under 50 hertz.
No, but okay, yeah, I said it's not going to play under 50 hertz, but most 6.5 are not going to do that anyway. They may play lower in some big doors. Yeah. I had 6.5s that played down to like 30-35 hertz.
Exactly.
But it's not controlled.
Yeah.
It's wobbly, it's elongated, it's just muffled, and it's not healthy for a driver to play that low anyway. You want your sub.
How many people actually use that crossover point for the...
Only those people who can't afford to have a sub in a car, they may play their 6.5s down low. But then they also know that they are limited in terms of output, how far they can push a driver. If you cross this at 50 or 60 hertz and then you have a sub, it plays beautiful kick bass, and it's good enough to integrate it to a capable mid-range. If your mid-range cannot play down to 170 to 200 hertz, then forget it. But it can still be a great addition to any system as a dedicated under-seat kick bass. Yeah. If your mid bass is good enough to play down to like 100 hertz, but you struggle with any more extension, or you don't have that feel that people cry for, they want that chest kicking feeling, have a pair of this. We could call it even then a front kick sub, whatever it is. And yeah, for the money, it's bloody awesome. I had a few on stock now, because if someone needs it, we always have it then. So that's about the three-way front end with the existing tweeter, the mid, and that's going to be the mid bass, and the Helix Q12 sub that you've seen us using in many cars, because for the money it's another great driver. It's a really good looking sub, and that's not the point. The point is that actually it sounds wicked in sealed. It plays really low, even if people look at the specs and the FS is like 34, but in a sealed box, and if you have the power and the control behind it, it just drops so easily. We had 2 of these in Audi A7 we tuned, and the 212s were doing bloody hat trick.
Not proper hat trick, but it was
Yeah, but
moving air.
it was moving decent amount of air. If some people want the output too, and it shows that it has the extension. It can play really low. So that's the setup, and the owner has those flex coaxes at the back door. Amplification wise, we will have the V8 running with an additional Bluetooth module, and the director will be located somewhere. It's quite tricky, but it will be located up front because the owner wanted this instead of the latest conductor, which is just a knob, which will be very easier to install, to be fair, but this just has a nice screen and it looks great, if anything. So this is a system that we have to install. We have a bit more than a week for it, and we try to record as much as we can. So you will see how we sort this car out. Yeah,
we'll probably find more problems in the system.
Quite possible.
We'll show them.
Quite possible. If we can, we will show it. But what we saw after just spending 15 minutes stripping this car out, this is already enough for us to see why it just. But to be fair, any two-way system like this, where the mid and the tweeter is so far away, and I think it's running in passive as well, you just can't create a believable sound stage. You can't lose the speakers. You will always listen to the speakers instead of just listening to the music. In any car, the point should be to make a system where the hardware disappears and you have a nice and holographic stage in front of you, and you can concentrate on listening to the music instead of looking at the speakers all the time where they are. Yeah, little sub. We will see what's happening with that too. We had a little push on it and it doesn't sound great, so probably the coil died. And that's why it stopped working, but we will see for sure. Alright, we can't end this video here. We have to show this part. An addition, and who knows how many more additions we will have to this introduction, because Eddie took the speaker out. Have you checked the resistance on it?
It seems alright,
Okay, we will test it if it runs. Maybe the amplifier died. But we were wondering whether it's a box or something. don't laugh like that. So it looks like they built the sidewalls up and they just shoved it in on the top of the on the floor. Yeah.
Basically, you can see through there. You can see the floor, white paint. I'll show you.
Yeah.
In between the deadening material, that's metal.
Yeah.
And look at the walls. Yeah, pull it up.
It moves.
Yeah.
It moves. Yeah, it's just somehow shoved in. We will have to hammer it out or something. Probably the glue holds it or something. It's not actually a sealed box, so I wonder what it sounded like.
It's IB.
Yeah,
IB
we could.
the floor.
To be fair, you could easily cut a big hole underneath it. It would be bloody awesome. IB. On each side, you could have big tents. There you go. This is the car to get.
I mean, the baffle itself is solid.
Of course, they supported it with the sidewalls.
Yeah.
But it's not a sealed box. That's, you see, I told you when I pushed the driver down, it's not sealed. There you go. I was right. I won.
We have to prove that.
Yeah, we have a challenge
And
regarding
we have the
that.
wire
but
going here.
at least we can trace things where things are running. I think there's so much space underneath the center console that the amplifier is somewhere hidden there, but we will strip and find it. So yeah, well, it's not much different from the mid-bass installation on door, is it?
Sad.
A little bit for us. Yeah, it is.
Everybody.
But then there's a reason why people bring cars to us.
Look at this screw, how it was holding in between
Was
the driver and the wood.
That wasn't holding.
Yeah.
Again, a jigsaw circle, probably. It was oversized. Yep. All right, so where are we with this?
Well, trying to take it out.
So what you found, that these look like they are glued into the side, yeah?
Yeah, but in fact...
There's nothing on this side.
Yeah, probably nothing on the other side.
There's nothing on the other side, so just two side the long walls and a top baffle glued on. So we literally have to chisel it out.
Because those sides are not glued on. They are screwed into the metal.
Probably a few screws
You
here
can
and there.
never take it out.
Well, we will.
Yeah, now that it's destroyed, yeah.
Lovely, lovely. It's actually better than we thought, no? What did we find?
Some self-tappers holding the walls.
Side walls. Yeah, I see.
Come on.
That you can't even take out then.
I will take them out eventually. Yeah, so I have, yeah. And no walls here.
Yeah, as we saw it earlier.
Yeah.
Come on, I show the box now as we took it out. Look at that.
It's a Lego box. That's how you build subwoofers in 2021. Lego.
It's wicked.
Very nice.
Look at that. This is a sub installation. I think some people will freak out by looking at it, that this is actually a thing, but it's actually a thing. It makes us realize the level of the competition. Hopefully it's just not every single shop in France that does this sort of stuff. We don't even know who did it, so you don't have to worry about naming the shop, or we would name the shop, but it has to be showed.
Yeah.
It has to be, sadly. And I think the owner will be more than sad after looking at this, but the good thing is the system is going to be sorted now. We will see. Another gem. So we found the sub amp. It's down there, and as Eddie just mentioned to me, it's actually fitted in its probably
Original packaging.
Yeah, they cut it to size to shove it in, and it's just sitting there with an inline bass remote. Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, this one wasn't bolted or glued or just hanging there, just like that in the dash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
And the amplifier as well. It's just
Like that, sitting there like that, tiny little monoblock. So probably that died or something,
probably, yeah.
and why the sub didn't work nicely. Oh, nice termination on the cables, shoved in, bolted down.
Yeah.
Well, works
Just
for
like
a
on
while.
the other side.
Works for a while.
And now we have
Beautiful.
to dig for those RCA cables to see where they are coming from, because we have no idea.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, at least we find some of it.
So you see this RCA cable is the signal coming from somewhere
Behind the dash. Yeah.
behind the dash. So,
Probably they have a speaker line converter, and yeah, we will find it.
well, there should be 3 of them then, because we have another 2 sets of RCAs under the seat.
Oh yeah, so that was separate for the front, rear, and the sub. Okay, we'll see what we find. All right, more goodies. We found the passive crossovers between the front, mid bass, and tweeter, which were also just literally put in there, sitting. I guess the other one is next to it,
I can't find
on the other side of it. Yeah, it has to be. We will pull it out somehow,
Gray is not here.
or maybe it's one big for both. I don't know. Yeah, a lot of stuff just hidden and chugged in the car, not really mounted or isolated. Well, the amp was isolated in its own form, probably made it.
Yeah, I checked the amp and it seems to be working. No blown fuse.
Who knows? Maybe
No
signal
short.
issue.
Yeah.
We also found where the power comes in through that beautiful hole, which may be sealed on the outside, definitely not sealed on the inside. Yeah, lovely.
More digging.
So we are digging now really deep to figure out
Second day.
to see how they wire things. We could see that all the wires are running behind the dash. So when you get there, strip there. This unit was bolted in there on the other side, but they didn't bolt it back. This was literally just sitting there. They put self-adhesive carpet at the bottom of it so it wouldn't rattle, but it was just sitting in there like that. So now we have to figure out what they used in there. There's a lot of wiring. Yeah, torch is there.
And the converters.
And converters and the many RCAs, whatever they used in there.
And we still haven't found the the second crossover.
Yeah, we don't have the second crossover yet, and we don't even know where they ran the speaker cables from the amplifiers, because from the amplifier we had these 4 cables, look, and they all ran up to the dash somewhere. But for this side, two-way system, the crossover was in there, so the cable from the amp wasn't running into the crossover. They tapped in and out of the factory speaker cables that was running to the crossover, so they went up there, possibly linked in there, and then tapped back here. Like, what's the point? The amp was here, straight from there to the crossover. So it's quite a jungle. So finally we found the other crossover as well. Yeah.
Just hanging.
It's literally just shoved up by the panel.
Yeah,
that panel.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nice. At least they kept the protective foil on the crossover so it didn't scratch around. But it's nice. You like that bracket, don't you?
Yeah.
Is it your new fishing gear?
Yeah. Fishing beryllium. Oh, it's tight now. Look.
Ah, you just managed to catch the not inside. Ooh, you may just undo it like that. Maybe. No, we will have to take the tweeter out.
It's adjustable, mate.
Wow. That's how you make it possible to change the aiming and the position easily.
Very nice install.
Yeah.
I still want to take the tweeter out because there's carpet inside, you see?
Oh yeah.
And I wonder why.
Who knows?
Just to absorb the back wave.
That's a sealed tweeter.
It doesn't matter.
That's still back wave.
Yes.
If the tweeter is farting. Yeah?
Yes.
Maybe. Yeah. And they took the door card off just to see the situation here. We could see from one of the off-cut focal deadening pieces that this is not really a deadening material, is it? It's so light, it's like a bit of butyl, so it sticks with an aluminium foil and then foam on the top. It's dead light. For deadening you need something heavy that makes the panel dead. This is just to make it look sort of money.
It is very well applied.
Well, yeah, it's just floating there. It's not bonded to the surface.
Edge.
Yeah, or only around the edge. The rest is just floating, and they just cut it out here. To be fair, this whole inner skin is plastic. So even if they did it, if they had done it properly, still it would have been not the best option because you can't really make this door rigid. But they did a bit of cutting in the factory mounting, so actually you can't even put a factory speaker back into this door anymore. This whole inner skin is fucked. Look, because that's where it used to be. They could have mounted the driver on that with a ply ring.
Probably the hole on the door card didn't match.
Didn't line up the way they mounted the driver. These guys were proper butchers. Literally. Yeah, a bit of electric tape. It's sad because now we have to seal this completely, so no moisture is going to come into the inside of the car because we are not having driver there, and then we have to do something with the door card. So they could have actually cut the hole lined up with the original mounting, and they wouldn't have had to butcher the inner skin of the door. So I don't see why they did it like that. But yeah, the MDF ring is just literally bolted from the back with few self-tappers. Look, this is how you make a proper mid-bass installation. The screw is not even holding anything. Look at that. Oh my god, people will hate me because it's like, oh Pete, you know, not everyone is so good like you guys, but no, come on, this is basics, honestly. You don't wanna be in this trade if you do shit like this in this car, what we found so far, and who knows what else we may find. Although I think this is it.
We stripped everything.
We stripped everything. Door card is the last thing. Just another little thing. How long is this video going to be? So that was what they screwed to the door card, and you can see they stapled it nicely. You would think that they use some adhesive.
It's overrated.
Why would they use adhesive? Yeah, it's crazy. There's nothing, literally nothing underneath it. Not a single sign of adhesive for vinyl.
But now it can be reused.
Even, to be fair, even this MDF is like, it looks like the cheapest quality MDF. It just rips. Look, they couldn't even fit the screws in it properly. They all ripped out. Oh my god. Quality, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you could see a lot of mess from this video. And honestly, I wasn't expecting anything this bad. I've seen few really bad installations coming to us, but this is on a whole different level. It's a bit like when we have that TV program called Cowboy Builders. Only that thing reminds me and comes into my mind, and it's very sad. It's very sad, but I felt like we had to show it. People have to share it because it's educational. As much as it's very painful, especially now for one person who is the owner, it is very important so people understand how to avoid this. I get many messages from people, especially on Patreon as well, where I have people who support me, and this topic came up a while ago, and they were asking me how to avoid these shops who cannot tune, who cannot build properly, who cut corners. How can they avoid it? And to enter the shop and get the job booked in, they can easily trick you. They can give you a beautiful marketing. They may have beautiful looking website and all that. And if it's a busy shop, it may not even be the person doing the install who's built up the reputation of the company. It may be one of the employees who's out of control and can get away with it, sadly. Although the boss of the company should always make sure to check what's been done, and you know, anything like this should never be allowed to leave the shutter. Also, if I was the customer, I'm sure I would hear that it just doesn't sound right. Having said that, not everyone has the reference level, and if it sounds just a little bit better than the factory was, then people are happy, because then they can see their equipment in the car. They could see that these nice mid-bass drivers were installed in the door. It looked right. They could see that there was a sub underneath the seat. But my recommendation is, and this is the part that's important for some of you guys, if you go to a shop, always ask them for documentation. If a shop says that, sorry, we don't have time to take pictures, we don't have time to take videos, it's bullshit. Honestly, anyone can take a couple of pictures to show what's been done on a door, how a driver was installed, how the mounting was secured, whether the driver was just screwed onto plastic like you could see from this, or it had rigid mounting to the inner skin, how the deadening was done. You can have pictures of this easily. Then you can see also how the amplification was done, where the amps were located. And it's like now, I asked the owner, where was the equipment? He was like, Pete, I don't know. It made me quite surprised. I'm like, how cannot you know? It's your car, it's your equipment. You should know. If something goes wrong, why doesn't the shop let you know about where the equipment was installed at? It's just, to me, it's so obvious. It's basic. You want to know it, don't you? It's like, where's the first aid kit in your car? I don't know. If something happens in an accident, you have to have an emergency situation and then, help your family. I don't know where it is. So, come on. If you pay money for a shop to do the job, then you are in the position to demand these things. Demand for pictures. Personally, I always give video updates to every single customer every day. And then some shops are like, oh, we don't have time for that. Oh, come on, 3 minutes. I don't take any longer videos because that's also the limitation of the size of the file that I can send over on WhatsApp or anything. You have the customer's phone number. Come on, it's 2021. Anyone can have a WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger or anything, or even upload it to YouTube to private and then send the link to the customer, and then the customer can see what's been done. It takes a couple of minutes. If someone says that they don't have time for it, go away.
If you go to a shop, ask them, can you do this for me? Can you prove the work that you do? You will show it to me. And if they don't show it, then question mark should come up that, hang on a second, what's happening here? They say that they did this and that, but they don't show it to me. It's not okay. Then at least when you go there, you have a good reason to you know, argue with them. And it's not necessarily about, you know, you're not going to pay the installer, but you want to avoid what happened in this video, because at the end you will pay twice. Like, you know, we probably lost 2 days just by figuring out what was done. We had to take everything out, strip everything out. It now cost the customer not just the previous installation, but it also cost him extra 2 days from us. I'm not going to swallow it, but it had to be put right. And this is not the first occasion we have to deal with this. Just like today, we had someone else who's been looking for recommendation online, and he was saying that, okay, I'm going to have a DSP, but he didn't say what car he had. He didn't say what the real problem was in the car. He just said he didn't have enough mid bass in the car. You know, how was the mid bass installed? Do you have pictures? No, I don't. Again, how can anyone recommend anything to you to change to a different driver when you don't know how it was built? It may be the installation that was not done properly. And then he wanted to buy certain equipment that I get quite often coming to us, and then we have to swap it out because it's not the best. Sorry, especially for the money. And it's not about what brands we carry, but then what we use and recommend, they are good. Not just good, they are the best out of all the other options on the market. So yeah, it comes up pretty much every day. Customers don't have a clue about what they have in their car. To me, it's just shocking. So as much as the second part of this video was possibly a nightmare, hopefully it was educational and helpful. Share it to your friends so they can learn from it. And even if you are not in UK and you need help, then you have the option to drop us an email, and then we can assist you. We can, you know, offer consultation, and we can put you to the right track, so you won't buy the wrong equipment and you won't end up with a bad installation, something like this. So it's simple as that. This way everyone stays happy, right? Stay tuned, subscribe to the channel. If this is the first time you've seen any video on PS Sound channel, then you won't miss the next one. You will see what we've done in this car, what system we installed in roughly 10 days, and how we resolved the issues. And yeah, feel free to browse, share all what you can, and check out description. You can see a few links to our social channels and our Patreon channel as well. So there's a lot more there where you can learn a lot. So this is it for this one, guys, and hopefully next week you will see the follow-up of this. Till then, enjoy listening to music, and I don't know what else do I want to say. I'm just knackered. It's Sunday night. I have to finish the video. Hopefully you enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next one.